It's the Shatkin First Down pregame show, presented by Northtown Automotive, with your host, Rich Gaenzler, featuring Jared Shatkin, and our special guest this week, Brian Moorman. Now, from Sorrentino's in Williamsville, here's your host, Rich Gaenzler.
Welcome to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. I'm Rich Gaenzler over at Sorrentino's on Main Street in Williamsville, setting you up for today's matchup between the Bills and the Jets. And hopefully the Bills get back on track. We'll talk about that game a little bit later in the show. Next up, Jared Shatkin, just minutes away to talk a little bit about that debacle in Jacksonville. What happened to our Bills in a game where they were such a huge favorite? We'll go from there into segment two with a resident of Jacksonville, our good friend, former Bills punter Brian Moorman, who was at that game, can talk about what he saw, how the Bills can remedy it, and what he's been up to. In segment number three, we do a thing called The Huddle, where we gather Bills Mafia members here at Sorrentino's. I'm wearing my salute to service gear because this was, of course, Veterans Day week all around the country. So we're saluting our servicemen and women here in Western New York who just happen to be Bills fans. So they've worn red, white, and blue to fight for our country and, of course, fight for their Bills. So they'll share their thoughts on the Bills going forward. In The Huddle, we'll do our 2-minute drill and our Tino's Dough segment. And finally, in the segment, to wrap the show, we'll have our keys to the game between the Bills and the Jets. So the Bills and the Jaguars, is there a Manning cast curse? Is it just Jacksonville all by itself? The Bills in the last two games there have scored a grand total of 9 points. We saw the penalties. We saw the O-line play. We saw Josh's bad decision-making. We saw a lot going on there. Jared Shatkin, let's go to you. What were some of your takes from the Jacksonville game?
That wasn't the best performance by the Bills. That was one of the worst performances I've actually seen out of the Bills in 3 years. And I'm going to give you a couple reasons why. One obvious reason was the O-line play. It seemed like the other Josh Allen was getting in the backfield just about every single time we snapped the ball. The Jaguars D-line is not one of those you think of as one of the more unbelievable D-lines in the league, but they made the Bills look like kind of like we were shorthanded, which we are. We are missing John Feliciano, and we had to start Cody Ford, and we're also missing Dawson Knox. And hopefully when those guys get healthy, our team changes. But basically the Jaguars defense made the Bills offense pretty stagnant, made it pretty messy. The whole game was pretty much Josh Allen running around trying to find an open receiver downfield. And then now we got to talk about Josh. He was definitely the worst Josh Allen on the field. He threw those two pretty terrible interceptions. He had fumble issues. He seemed like he was kind of resorting to hero ball again, which he kind of had to if you look at the pass rush, but he just wasn't making the best decisions. And overall, I did not recognize this Bills team as a team I've seen the last 2 years. First, we need to figure out how to get back on track. And I think this Jets game hopefully is the right game to get us on track. But the last 2 weeks have been pretty putrid.
And listen, what Shaquille Griffin said post-game about the Bills not looking excited. Listen, if you watched the game like most of us did on our televisions, the Bills didn't look very excited. They didn't look pumped up. Maybe they were soaking up their awesomeness, if you will, and maybe not taking their last two opponents as seriously as they should have. Remember, the Bills took care of business, Miami, Washington, Houston, before the bye week. What's happened since? That's a question that absolutely needs to be answered. We'll touch on that a little bit later in the show. But next up, a good friend of ours, Bills punter Brian Moorman, joins us on the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show.
Hi, I'm Dr. Todd Shatkin here with Hall of Fame running back Thurman Thomas.
My family and I have been coming to Dr. Shatkin's dental office for years. The office is beautiful and the staff is outstanding.
Thanks, Thurman. It's been an honor for me to take care of you and your family.
For a Hall of Fame smile, go where the pros go. Dr. Todd Shatkin at the Aesthetic Associates Center.
Call today for a free consultation, 839-1700.
Finding the perfect used car can feel like searching for a needle in a haystack. At Northtown, we make it simple with a focus on certified pre-owned. When you see the certified symbol from the official vehicle manufacturer, you know the vehicle has passed a rigorous inspection and comes with extra benefits like a manufacturer warranty and roadside assistance. To find the best value and peace of mind, head to Northtown. Northtown Certified Vehicles. An official partner of the Buffalo Bills.
Okay, you guys, let's see what you got. Yeah, lucky shot. Hey, that wasn't fair. I wasn't ready. Is that all you got? You shoot like a bunch of kids. Really? Uh-oh. Hey, oh my gosh. Okay, you win. So where are all you winners going to have dinner tonight?
Russell's, of course.
Be my guest and let us do the rest.
All right, welcome back to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. Bills and Jets coming up. We're in segment number 2, and we're joined by a good friend of ours, Brian Moorman, who interestingly lives in Jacksonville and was at the Jacksonville game. And you probably wished you weren't at this point. First of all, great to see you, brother, man. How are you?
Hey, I'm well. Great to see you as well. Yeah. It was a tough game. Tough game to be at. Yeah,
and the crowd must have been in complete disbelief on both sides, right? Lots of Bills fans there, some alumni. I know Puslesny had a big tailgate party, from what I understand. And so you got, Bills fans that flew down from the Northeast. You got your Jags fans. Bills fans thought it was going to be a blowout. Jags fans thought they were going to be blown out. So the looks of disbelief on all the fans' faces throughout the game must have been aplenty.
Well, it was a shock in so many ways. Obviously, even going through the game, when a play would happen, you'd think, oh, wow, the Jags just did something good. Nope, the Bills did something good. It just place went nuts. But then when the Jags did something good, that place kind of was loud too. So it was a really confusing game to watch if you weren't paying close attention. But in the end, you're right. Everybody was pretty shocked. We got to regroup and get going this week.
They've scored 4 points a quarter over the last 8, which is not Bills football at all. And I got to ask you, is there any possibility, the way the Bills went through early in the season, Miami, Washington, Houston, just blowing them out, completely inferior teams to them. I know it's any given Sunday in the NFL, but is there any chance at all, knowing that these 3 games, the Dolphins, the Jags, and the Jets, with their records and how they've played all season long, is there any possibility that the team could have got caught up in stats, in lines, and we're going to roll these guys, and it just bit them in the backside? Is that possible that might have happened?
I would think. I think, you'd like to think that as you get through the week that you're not going to be thinking about who you're playing. It's always the next game up, and you don't look at the fact that they're not a very good team, but mentally, you just get kind of thinking, you start to look ahead and like, okay, we're going to win these next however many games because you've got, this team and that team. The Jags have won 3 games over 27 or whatever the stats were. They, in theory, they should be an easy game. I bring up my son again. We were walking in the stadium. He goes, Dad, we're going to kill these guys. I was like, buddy, it's Sunday. You just don't know what's going to happen. They've got great players too. When you get a slow start like that too, it's like you just kind of almost felt like, even as a fan, you're thinking as it's going on, okay, when are we going to wake up? It's going to happen. We're going to start smoking them. And then just one thing happened after another. And you're like, okay, it's time now. And then before you know it, it's 000 on the clock. And we're like, what? So here we are. And we just gotta rebound, obviously, because you could get caught up in that again this week. The Jets haven't necessarily had a great year, although they have had to beat 2 really good teams. So they're probably a little better than people give them credit for if they want to wake up. We're playing on the road again. It's not easy to win on the road. And so we got to kind of regroup and take it to them.
I thought too that Griffin for the Jaguars said something post game where, he would look at the Bills sideline. They looked completely disinterested. Like they just didn't care. They weren't into the game. That, they were just, there was no fire in their bellies. There was no, we're hunting instead of we're being hunted. And they definitely got to get back to that. Robert Saleh, based on his reputation in New York, is absolutely going to have those guys going in with the same exact mentality the Jaguars went in with, right?
Oh, for sure. If not more, it's an AFC East game. It's a division game. So that's even more important. So you know that they're going to be fired up. And I think that's probably one of the worst things that you could have said by an opponent, obviously saying that it just didn't look like they were hungry, like they didn't want it, or like they gave up. Those are the things that I remember even, when we were going on a run last year, people were saying, what's the difference between these teams and the teams you played on? And obviously, I played during the drought. Everybody knows that. but it always felt like over that hump, and you just feel the air go out of the sideline. And if that's what he was sensing, then I never sensed that even from TV. Obviously, I was never on the sideline last year, but you look at the confidence that we had to win games, and I hope that we can just get back to that, because now's the time to make the run. It's the teams that are staying healthy, obviously, this time of year, and then the teams that play well in December that are going to really do well in January and February. So, it's not the end of the world. I mean, 5-3, obviously we'd rather be 8-0, but let's just regroup and take it to the Jets for sure.
Yeah. I mean, Josh looked like he regressed in that game. His decision-making, you can argue the picks were terrible. The fumble was bad. He probably should have handed it to Motor Singletary on that RPO on that particular play. On the 4th and 16 play, I get it. Like, he and Diggs have this bromance thing going on, and let's face it, Diggs is probably one of the top 5 receivers in the league. But the better throw, the easier throw rolling to the right, is to Emmanuel Sanders, who's sitting at the sticks on the right sideline right in front of him. And the throw across the body, again, a bad decision. So you worry about that. You worry about no run game. You worry about the O-line play. You worry about the penalties.
I think you got to put these 2 weeks behind you. Obviously the Miami game was a win, but it was a slow start, and then came off, the second half and played well, but then never got going against the Jags. And so this is a big week, like I said, and I think that's all you really got to do is just put those 2 behind you. Think about what it's going to take to get on to the next level here.
I need a score from you, a score prediction, because that's what we do with all of our guests.
Okay. This week, I'm confident. I'm going to go Bills 27, and I think it's going to be the Jets 14. And one of those touchdowns with the Jets going to come late, and it'll be worthless. So we're going to play well, and we're going to come out fast. We're going to start fast this week, and I do anticipate that. And I look for us to score early, and the defense to continue to dominate like they have been.
Tyler Bass was the 2006, or check that, this month's Special Teams Player of the Month, the first Bill to do that since you did it in 2006. Really? Do you remember anything about that month and why you were so good back in 2000? It's 15 years ago. But do you remember anything about that?
Oh, geez. I remember
a loaded question, I know.
Yeah, I remember them, coach telling me, telling the team after the after practice that week, and that was a hell of an honor. Obviously, I don't really remember what led up to that. That was what year did you say it was?
06.
So that would have been the year that I went to the Pro Bowl in 07, and I think that was the year of the infamous hit against Sean Taylor as well. So that's probably why I don't remember anything.
No,
it's a little fuzzy.
Yeah, and Tyler Bass.
So congrats to Tyler, by the way. I mean, that's amazing. He's doing great. I love watching him play, and he's kicking the ball awesome. So I'm really happy for him.
Well, we love you in Buffalo, obviously. Yeah. I have no idea what's gone on with the Wall of Fame, because it seems like it's just kind of gone away. But you're due. You are way overdue for being up on that thing, man. We love you to death. That. We hope you get to Buffalo soon. We see you at a game, and of course, we appreciate you doing the show, man.
Thanks for having me. Always great to be.
You got it. Brian Moorman, everybody. We're coming up next on the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. We bring in the huddle. It's Veterans Day week. We have some veterans with us. They wore the red, white, and blue fighting for our flag. They wear the red, white, and blue fighting for our team. That's coming up next on the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show.
To our men and women in uniform, past and present, we honor you today and every day. From all of us here at the Aesthetic Associates Center, we thank you for your service.
Finding the perfect used car can feel like searching for a needle in a haystack. At Northtown, we make it simple with a focus on certified pre-owned. When you see the certified symbol from the official vehicle manufacturer, you know the vehicle has passed a rigorous inspection and comes with extra benefits like a manufacturer warranty and roadside assistance. To find the best value and peace of mind, head to Northtown. Northtown Certified Vehicles. An official partner of the Buffalo Bills.
Your
kitchen is the heart of your home, so make it what you've always wanted.
Empire Granite Marble Quartz has everything you need to start your kitchen countertop makeover, all within your budget. Offering 24 months, 0% financing for a limited time. Empire has the largest indoor full slab showroom in Western New York, so visit the showroom today.
Make your dreams a reality with luxury you can afford.
Welcome back to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. Bills and Jets from the Meadowlands coming up. Well, it's Veterans Week, and today on the show we celebrate the men and women who served and did it dutifully. Obviously wearing the red, white, and blue of their country, and they just happen to be Bills Mafia members who wear the red, white, and blue and cheer for their Bills. So we celebrate them, and we invited them to be part of our huddle today. And we start with, and we hand off to Larry Moko. Larry, good afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon.
Great to see you. Army, right?
Army.
You were telling me before we started you have the best job or had the best job ever when you were in the military.
That's correct. I did secure voice, secure data for a comms center, and secure voice for a 2-star general.
Wow. That's a lot of pressure.
No, it's fun.
Yeah, I bet. And some of the things you probably saw were probably things you can't tell me about, I'm sure.
Probably.
And you probably don't want to deal with my IT either, I bet. No, I don't blame you one bit. What do you think about this game today? The Jets coming off the bye. They beat some pretty good teams earlier in the year. The Bills got to really pick it up, right? What do you think? Give me a score prediction, Bills-Jets today.
I say Bills 21-7 against the Jets, and I think they'll come back. I think usually on a loss, they come back hard, and I think they can do it.
Yeah, I think everybody in Bills Mafia believes that too. Hand the ball off, if you would, over to Tony Glazinski. Tony, Vietnam vet, Army?
Army.
Tell me a little bit about your experience.
Well, I went overseas in '70, and it was a very hairy experience. Very, how would you say it, scary. Going to a foreign country, it's all you hear is things going off, bombs, gunfire. So it's constant noise all the time.
I bet. We can't thank you enough for your service and what you went through. As you mentioned, you hear the stories over and over again about the conflict there and what you guys dealt with for sure.
Yes,
you come home, you end up working for the Bills for a while.
Yes,
Tell me what you did.
I used to do instant replay for the Buffalo Bills. I had 19 years with them.
Can you go work for the league now, please?
Yeah, they might need it.
Right.
But yeah, I worked when they were not so great, and then I leave when they get a good team, and it's kind of upsetting.
Right.
In fact, Larry and I went to the game, the Miami game, and my boss over there said, "Hey, you want to come back to work?"
Sure. Well, hey, you're still capable, obviously. What do you think about today's game?
28-19.
28-19 Bills.
Right.
Okay, very
definitely.
good. Hand off, if you would, across the table, or pitch it. There it is. Larry, good grab. Larry Smith, another Army gentleman. Welcome to the huddle.
Thank you.
Tell me about your experience, maybe where you were when you served.
I went in 1964. I went to Germany for 2.5 years. I got out in 1967, and I was a truck driver at a motor pool in Germany.
From what I heard, and from what I've talked to when I talk to vets, their overseas experiences had their moments.
Yes.
Fair enough?
Yes, they did. Yep.
Probably some you can't mention here. This is a family show, right?
Exactly.
That's what I assumed.
Exactly.
What do you think about the game today?
I think it's going to be Buffalo 38-7.
38-7 blowout. Okay,
Yes.
we predicted blowout the last 2 weeks. It didn't happen.
Yes.
Let's hope it does this week for sure, and the offense gets back on track. Thank you for your service, obviously. Finally, Pat Edmonds here, a very dynamic group. 3 Army, Navy guy here. Yep. December 11th is the big game, right? Army, Navy?
Yep.
Pat, tell me about your Navy experience.
I was in the Navy from 86 to 90, Rich, in Boston, Massachusetts, believe it or not, and I was on an air base with Marines, and I had a fantastic time.
And what do you think about the game? You're all Billsed out today.
Yeah. I think the Bills are going to get it together. I think the coach is going to figure something out on offense, get some pre-snap motion going, and the Bills are going to take care of the Jets and get back on track and make us all feel good. 42-17, I'm thinking.
Big win.
Yeah.
Thank you for your service.
You're
we
welcome.
want to thank Chris and Lynn from Western New York Heroes, WNYHeroes.org, who work for vets. They are vets themselves, helping to financially assist the vets locally while sustaining dignity for those veterans. And, of course, all the money raised and spent stays right here in Western New York, WNYHeroes.org. Time for the 2-minute drill very quickly. Sorrentino's dough up for grabs, guys. Some Bills trivia for you. It involves the military. Question number 1, anyone can chime in, okay?
Right.
This is for $10. This Army Ranger killed in action, left the Arizona... Pat Tillman is right. You have $10, guys. This is for $25. Ready?
Yep.
This running back was drafted and served in the Army in Vietnam, had both legs injured so badly by gunfire and a grenade, doctors told him he'd never be able to play football. He defied the odds and won 4 rings for the... Rocky Blyer's right for $25. Well done. Well done. And finally, and very quickly, there was a movie made about Rocky Blyer. It's called Fighting Back. Anybody know who played Rocky Blyer in the movie? I'll give you an extra 25 if you know the answer to this. He was in a TV show called Vegas. There's your hint. Robert Urich. Robert Urich was the guy. Final question for $50. This guard for the Bills only played 1 season in Buffalo. He was the Rookie of the Year for the Bills in 1968. Before he entered the Army, was deployed to Vietnam, and 2 years later, unfortunately, he was killed in action. His name is on the Bills Wall of Fame. Anyone? I believe he was number 61. You're going to be disappointed in yourselves.
I probably will.
Bob Kalsu.
That's right.
Bob Kalsu. A bunch of other veterans that play in the NFL. Villanueva for Baltimore, their left tackle. I remember Roger Staubach, the Heisman winner, was a Navy veteran. And Bryce Fisher, you might remember, played for the Bills back in the late 90s, early 2000s, an Air Force veteran as well. Guys, again, thank you so much for your service. Thanks for being a part of Bills Mafia and the Huddle today. We really appreciate you.
Our pleasure.
Thank you. Our pleasure.
Enjoy your time here at Sorrentino's. Okay, coming up next, the injury report and our keys to the game. The Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show resumes right after this.
I am so happy with my experience that I had at I Smile Spas today. Got my teeth professionally whitened. I have months of results in less than an hour. No pain, seriously, not even a sting. They're not sensitive. You leave with a kit to continue your whitening. Absolutely incredible. I'm so happy I ever did this. I can't stop smiling.
Western New York. Smile again with confidence. Call 43SMILE today.
Finding the perfect used car can feel like searching for a needle in a haystack. At Northtown, we make it simple with a focus on certified pre-owned. When you see the certified symbol from the official vehicle manufacturer, you know the vehicle has passed a rigorous inspection and comes with extra benefits like a manufacturer warranty and roadside assistance. To find the best value and peace of mind, head to Northtown. Northtown Certified Vehicles. An official partner of the Buffalo Bills.
Hi, I'm Dr. Sam Shatkin with today's Shatkin First Down Injury Report. Let's start offensively with the hopeful return of 2 impact players, tackle Spencer Brown and tight end Dawson Knox, from their back and hand injuries respectively. Cole Beasley re-aggravated his rib injury against Jacksonville and was on the list this week and has been a huge underneath threat for the Bills all season. Let's hope he's back. He'll be missed if he can't go. And Zach Moss has been on the concussion protocol all week, which means we could see Matt Breida or Antonio Williams. Teron Johnson on the defensive side has made a quick recovery from his concussion suffered in the Jacksonville game. He's a huge key in the starting role on the nickel defense. And defensive captain Tremaine Evans spent time on the list this week with a hamstring. If he can't go, expect A.J. Klein to step in. For more on the game, let's send it back to Rich and Jared.
All right, there you go with the injury report. Now let's get to the keys to the game, the Bills and the Jets. And Jared, listen, the Jets play in the same place the Giants play at MetLife Stadium. And you could argue the Jets have played David against some AFC Goliaths in playing the giant role, if you will, in beating teams like Tennessee and Cincinnati, who some would argue are in the top 3 or 4 in the conference. So maybe the Bills, they're looking at them as another notch in their giant belt. keys to the game for you, Jared. Bills-Jets today.
Yes. In the Jaguars game, you have to acknowledge, but if you're the Bills coach, if you're Sean McDermott, you burn the tape. The Jets are coming off a huge loss. They got beat pretty handily by the Carson Wentz-led Colts. In a normal week, you would think that the Bills are going to take care of this team pretty handily, but after that Jaguars game and the Dolphins game the week before, everything's just up in the air. But what I do know is we need to get Stephon Diggs the ball against this young secondary. We got to get to him early and often. We got to get Beasley in mismatch situations, and we somehow have to get the running game going because we're pretty much dead last in most rushing categories if it wasn't for Josh Allen taking off with the ball and just playing hero ball. So we have to get that going. We have to get a play action passing game. This is a week to get right, and yes, last week was a week to get right. So I'm hoping we're going to be able to stop the Jets. They do have some talented players on the offensive side of the ball. They got that quarterback Mike White starting, who played that great game against Cincinnati. We got to watch their rookie running back, and we definitely have to watch Corey Davis on the outside if he plays this week. Basically, we need to get up early on the Jets. We need to show that we're prepared. We need to show that last week was a fluke. My score prediction is I do believe the Bills are going to come away with a victory, but I'm not going to give them a blowout like I did last week or the week before. I think they don't really deserve it the way they've been playing. I think this game could be about a 20-13 game. Hopefully they prove me wrong. They get back on track and the offense gets going. Hopefully Dawson Knox is back, but at this point it's just a tough team to watch, and I hope that they can figure a way to turn it around.
Yeah, Jared, thanks. Listen, the Bills have to take this opponent seriously, bottom line, and they have to win this game with urgency. They have to be angry, and they have to play that way today. Robert Saleh is not going to let that Jet team be anything but that against this Bills team today. Let's look at the rankings. You know, the Jets are 25th in the league in offense and last in the league on defense. They are last in the league in takeaways. The Bills are number 1 in takeaways. I think takeaways are going to be a big part of this game. And obviously, the Bills offense has got to get things going in the right direction. In the run game, they are the worst, the Jets. Defense in the run game, the Bills have to establish a run game. Maybe that includes Matt Breida today. Also, of course, defensively, get on Mike White. Make him a complete non-factor and make that 400-yard game in his career, that debut that he had a couple of weeks ago, make that feel like it was a fluke. All right, I like the Bills today, 34-13, getting back on track. That will do it for the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. Of course, the Bills and the Jets coming up within the hour. Thanks for being here. Thanks to our veterans in their service and for being part of the huddle. Thanks to Brian Moorman, our guest. Thanks to the wonderful people, too, here at Sorrentino's on Main Street in Williamsville for hosting us today. We'll see you next Sunday at noon for another edition of the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show right here on WBBZ.
If you would like to be a participant in the Shatkin First Down Huddle, email Mark Aarons at maarons@shatkinfirst.com. This has been a production of the Shatkin Sports Network.